Now it's time for this week's Traffic Inbox, and we're making it easier to merge onto State Road 408 from Orange Avenue in downtown Orlando. Lake Eola holds a special place in Mary Rose's heart.
It's right here at Lake Eola. There's the fountain in the background.
Every Easter, her father would take Mary and her sisters to the park for a photograph. And since 1987, Mary has worked in downtown Orlando, enjoying Lake Eola whenever she wants.
Soon after I started working downtown, they did a revitalization, and it has been beautiful ever since.
Mary is one of those rare people that was actually born here in Orlando.
Been here since before Disney.
And she has seen what that growth has meant for Orlando over the years.
So it's like I was born in a sleepy little town, and I live in a bigger city now, and I didn't even move.
After a long day at work, for Mary to get to her home in the Gotha area, she has to get on State Road 408.
It didn't used to be so swervy.
The ramp from Orange Avenue has been under construction for quite some time due to I-4 Ultimate work. And the lack of a merging sign is making it difficult to merge, says Mary.
When you get up to the top here, the area that you have to merge in is not that long, and there used to be a sign right here that people here don't even know that I'm about to merge over.
Mary says a temporary construction sign used to warn drivers, but that was taken away.
Drivers that are in the lane that I'm about to merge in don't know I'm coming, and so I have to be very careful to obviously merge. Yield to them.
She wants something like this seen at another interchange to help warn both westbound 408 drivers and those merging from Orange Avenue.
Other people on the ramp with me, before me, they don't seem to know that they're about to have to merge, and then suddenly they have to just get over, and I think they're unprepared.
We told FDOT in charge of the I-4 Ultimate project, and they agreed that sign is needed. So they put it back at the 408 ramp. It's just a temporary one for now, but it'll do for Mary.
I feel safer that the sign is there, and thank you very much for helping get that sign in place. And it's temporary, but I know they'll put up the permanent one soon.
We were happy to help out Mary, and we'd be happy to help out you as well. Just go to mynews13.com/trafficinbox or on the Spectrum News app.
In other news, we're making it easier for drivers to see in northern Orange County. It's time now for Traffic Inbox segment with our real-time traffic expert, Jerry Hume. Jerry, good morning to you once again. So you went up to the Lake County border with Orange County where it was hard to see at a particular intersection.
Yeah, Ebeth, the grass was so high here off Earlwood Avenue that drivers had a tough time seeing onto Orange Blossom Trail when they wanted to turn. Not anymore. After decades of a brush in her hand, Shauna Spooner just started a new technique for painting.
I've been painting since 1990 on and off.
She paints from home in the Tangerine area of Orange County. When she needs more paint supplies, or really anything else, she takes Earlwood Avenue to US 441, also known as Orange Blossom Trail.
And now you can see how the reeds have come up. You can't see anything.
But when Shauna pulls up to Orange Blossom Trail, she can't see southbound drivers because of this tall grass.
Because of the obstructed view now, you have to be up a little further, so it's easier to get hit.
Shauna says pulling up on OBT has led to close calls, even for her husband. She wants the grass cut. So we contacted Orange County and they told us FDOT maintains this property. So we told FDOT, and take a look, they cut it back right away. Shauna says cutting it back has made a big difference.
I want everybody to get home safe and sound, not just me.
For her, it means a safer drive to the store and back to get art supplies.
Some take me a week, some take me a month, and I never know what's going to come out.
And we were happy to help out Shauna, and we'd be happy to help you. Send us your road-related issue to mynews13.com/trafficinbox or send me a message on the Spectrum News app.
Our real-time traffic expert, Jerry Hume, is joining us now. So you went out to Pleasant Hill Road near John Young Parkway. What's the problem there?
Well, Beth, for residents in the Oak subdivision that want to get to Pleasant Hill Road, they take this access road here, but trying to turn south onto Pleasant Hill Road is no easy feat.
Hey guys, welcome. What's going on?
Sitting behind the microphone comes naturally to Tyrone Turpin. He and his wife started a podcast a few months ago.
Our mission is to change the world, right? Now, I don't know if it'll happen in my lifetime, but we do it one conversation, one change at a time, be the change you want to see.
He records his podcast right in his home in the Oaks subdivision in Osceola County. For the most part, he likes the neighborhood and where he lives.
The reason that I chose the house, because it literally has two huge walk-in closets, one for myself and one for my wife.
But he could live without the traffic from John Young Parkway and Pleasant Hill Road.
We have a very serious traffic problem.
Tyrone uses an access road from Oaks Boulevard to get to Pleasant Hill Road, but to make a left and head south on Pleasant Hill Road near Fern Drive is frustrating.
Just as I'm sitting right here, they see I want to get out, and nobody's going to stop.
Traffic backed up from the light with John Young Parkway can block Tyrone's access to southbound lanes of Pleasant Hill. After several minutes of waiting, Tyrone will try to force his way out.
I'm going to blow my horn and get these people to stop and let me out. See, that's what I got to do. Once you get their attention, it just shows you how oblivious people are when they drive.
FDOT has been considering building a road through the Oaks to bypass the intersection, but as we've reported in the past, some neighbors have pushed back against that idea. So now the state is reevaluating options to alleviate congestion near the intersection. An Osceola County spokesperson says they'll look at interim and permanent solutions to the traffic issues in the area. Tyrone would like something to be done now.
A light is needed. And I don't necessarily mean a red to green, but maybe some kind of blinking light.
Tyrone would like to spend less time waiting in traffic and more time at home.
We need to make a difference amongst ourselves.
Hoping to record more podcasts and make a difference in the world.
All right, guys, listen, thank you for sharing another great episode of Changing the World podcast.
We appreciate Tyrone for that message. Unfortunately, Beth, drivers on Jack Calhoun Road here in Kissimmee are not stopping when they pass by Pershing Street, even when walkers are in the crosswalk. Getting in a lunchtime workout is easier said than done for Naima Colon.
I'm trying to get my steps for the day. I try to walk sometimes, and I try to jog at my lunchtime.
As you can see, it can be a problem when she has to cross Jack Calhoun Road at Pershing Street in the Kissimmee area.
I'm seeing enough close calls, not just for myself, but other people trying to cross the street that are trying to cross, and people just zoom by.
Naima is worried trees and poor lighting at night make it difficult for some drivers to see her when she's looking across.
Maybe they just have their own blinders on.
But she thinks the worst offenders might be drivers who aren't paying attention.
I hate to be the one to suggest this, but maybe turning this into a three-way stop might slow things down. For starters, people would want to avoid the three-way stop and actually go the other ways. And another thing, it forces people to stop in all directions so the pedestrians actually have a chance to cross.
We reached out to Osceola County. Their transit and traffic team agreed to study the area and assess if a three-way stop is warranted and what impact it would have on traffic in the area. The county would then have to coordinate with the city of Kissimmee to make any changes. Naima just wants to walk or jog without being afraid to cross the street.
I'm just afraid someday it's not going to be a close call and somebody's going to get hit, and I don't want that to happen.
We'll keep you posted if any changes are made at that intersection.
Got an update now to a traffic inbox story from last month.
Yeah, Beth, Naima Colon wrote into us about a dangerous crosswalk in this Kissimmee area. She said drivers wouldn't stop for her in the crosswalk on Jack Calhoun Road when they passed by Pershing Street. Well, we just learned that after our story aired, Osceola County decided to install a rectangular rapid flashing beacon, kind of like this, to alert drivers to stop when someone has hit the crosswalk button. It should be installed within the next 30 days.
So a viewer says there's a lot of congestion on US 301.
Yes, Beth, there's plenty of large trucks that use US 301, and a viewer wants to know if a bypass can be built. So we asked FDOT. As the area around Coleman grows, Paula Hicks remembers a simpler time in Sumter County.
Mostly use it as storage now, but
My mother-in-law was brought up in that house.
Next door to this more than a century-old house,
Look who's here!
Paula, her husband, and their dogs reside.
My husband was born and raised here.
Paula herself has lived in Coleman for more than 3 decades, and a lot has changed in that time.
Open the shades up and I see log trucks, moving trucks, semis, dump trucks by the hundreds out here.
It's not uncommon for Paula to see traffic on Central Avenue when there are backups on the main road, US 301. Paula says traffic has gotten worse in Coleman over the years, especially when there's a wreck on I-75 or Florida's Turnpike.
You can't hardly make a left out of here anymore.
But even on a normal day, like when we went with her, traffic was backed up in this city of less than 1,000.
I don't know how many dump trucks run a day through here. It's the hundreds, if not thousands, come through here daily.
A nearby industrial park brings big trucks on 301.
I feel we are being neglected. The talk 20 years ago was of a bypass around Coleman. They knew it was coming, and nothing was done.
We reached out to FDOT, and talk of a bypass is still in the works. In a 2019 FDOT study, they proposed a truck route realignment of US 301 around Coleman. Among other recommendations were adding capacity, 2 roundabouts, and a new interchange at the Turnpike. Unfortunately for Paula, FDOT doesn't have a timeline of if or when construction will begin.
All the history of this little town is just getting washed away.
Paula just wants something to be done to keep the big trucks out of her small city. Even spending time on the front porch, it's just not the same as it used to be.
Not with the traffic the way it is out here. It's not enjoyable. It's frustrating.
Thanks to Paula for that question. Ebeth?
You know, these stories are really thought-provoking, and many are wondering what happens when you do these stories. You have an update to a traffic inbox segment you did a year ago.
Yeah, sometimes it takes a while, but we do get results up here near the Sanford Airport. We told you about a dangerous intersection at Lake Mary Boulevard and Brisson Avenue South. Chris Blanco wrote into traffic inbox about a difficult curve for those making a right turn. Seminole County heard us, heard neighbors, and decided to make some changes. One of those changes includes installing a traffic signal based on the expansion of residential homes in that area, along with vehicle speeds on Lake Mary Boulevard and a number of crashes at that intersection. Beth, it's a busy area, including here on Ronald Reagan Parkway. For neighbors living in the communities off Mayfair Boulevard, it's dangerous to get out, but change is coming.
One of the benefits of living in the West Haven community is Mark Godwin has plenty of space to play soccer.
I come out here quite regularly, play with my 3 little ones.
He, his wife, and kids moved to Polk County 4 years ago so he could start his job as the Associate Director of Coaching for the Florida Youth Soccer Association. Growing up in England, soccer has always been in Mark's blood.
I was pretty much born into the game. My father was a former professional player in England. I came through the youth ranks, didn't quite get a pro contract, but went into the semi-pro setup and also started coaching at a young age and found that was my passion.
But getting to work requires some skills. When Mark is turning off Mayfair Boulevard, it can be a challenge to get onto Ronald Reagan Parkway.
The traffic is so fast moving and it creates a problem for anyone coming out of the community.
Mark says drivers are going so fast on Ronald Reagan that in order to get out, he'd often take risks.
It's one of those things where I opted to go without stopping, so I was in the wrong, but I think with the speed of the traffic and everything else, you sometimes have to take that window of opportunity that you get, and that's what I did, and I got pulled over.
Mark doesn't take that gamble anymore.
That's another issue, is the U-turns that are made here.
He'd like to see a traffic signal installed. So we asked Jay Jarvis, the director of Polk County Roads, and he found out this intersection was studied earlier this year, and it does warrant a traffic light.
If it does happen, if we get a traffic signal here, it's going to be a safer area in which to commute from.
Mark will have to wait a little bit before the light is installed. It won't be considered for funding until next year's budget, just under a year from now. For Mark, he wants to focus less on his drive to work and more on what he does at work.
I like giving back to the game, and certainly working with the youth allows me to really impact the future of soccer in this country.
Thanks to Mark for that question.